You're not the only one that has such a big patient load. You're not the only one dealing with all this government paperwork and stuff. You're not the only one dealing with all this change that's happening right now. But you know, I found that change and challenge can be the greatest stepping stone to the top. I'm sorry. I'm gonna make it up to you next time. It just doesn't take much. But this does not happen unless you and I look at life and what we do with a passion. The key is think outside the self. You've heard think outside the box for 10 years, right? It's think outside the self. Individually, we overestimate what we can do by ourselves. But together, as a team, we underestimate what we can do. Become one and enjoy the fruits of making a difference together.
And with 2 down, here is Ed Hearn, who had his first big league hit in the 2nd inning. He's a youngster who was drafted by Philadelphia. He had an appointment to the West Point Military Academy and decided to be a baseball player. He would have made an impressive-looking general. He's 6'3", 215.
It's way back. It is going, gone, goodbye. And Ed Hearn with his first major.
And a high drive to left. Back goes Stubbs, way back.
I made it to the penthouse of all my dreams as a young boy. I mean, I had sacrificed so much to be there, to get to that point. No doubt, I probably never really dreamt that I would play in the big leagues, let alone be in a World Series and be on the winning team.
He struck him out! Struck him out! The Mets have won the World Series! The dream has come true. The Mets have won the World Series, coming from behind to win the 7th ball game.
And so it was over. The Mets were world champions.
There's a couple of gifts I want to give to you, and one of them is a little perspective today. Just when I had life in the palm of my hand, I mean, I had it right where I wanted it. It was jerked out from underneath me.
But this is a man who, first of all, was the short end of the David Cone trade. The Royals gave away a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, and Ed took the heat for it because he got injured right away. On top of that, when his career ended, he had a kidney transplant, a life-threatening blood disorder, and a life-threatening sleeping disorder disease. And when we interviewed him a month before, or 2 months before, he had had cancer.
So I went from the penthouse to the outhouse. What do you do when you're facing adversity, when you're facing change you think you have no control over? I was feeling sorry for myself because life had thrown me a curve. This was potentially a strikeout curve. I was having the mother of all pity parties. But it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Shades were drawn. Door was shut. It was pitch black dark. I was only 1 year out of losing my career as an athlete. Why me? All the questions we all ask. Do you remember when we were kids, we had the parties and there was always a party pooper? Well, she came that night. The door to my hospital room swung open. The light from the hall filled the room. And into the doorway walked the midnight shift nurse. And when she walked in that doorway, it got dark again in my room. She reached over, she turned on the light to my room, and I realized why they only let her work the graveyard shift. She started heading over to my bed. She had this walk that just said something was not right. She pulled my chart out of the top of the bed. And she looked down and said, "Boy, what's the matter with you?" Now, my first thought was, I hadn't been called boy in a long time. Quickly, though, my second thought was she'd call me anything she wanted to call me. He said, "Boy, you're feeling sorry for yourself, aren't you? Every once in a while, I see somebody like you. Boy, I've been working this war for 10 years. It makes me sick when I see somebody like you. You just got the gift of life, boy." She reached in her holster and grabbed that thermometer. And she was heading down checking tonsils or something. She poked that thing in, she reached up, grabbed the blood pressure cuff, she wrapped around my arm, and then she spread out. You got the picture, huh? She started to pump on that cuff. And she's looking right deep in my eyes. She said, "Boy, I'm gonna tell you something my mama told me a long time ago." And she'd stop and just stare at me right in the eye. Y'all ever been through the Lincoln Tunnel? This was my view. My fingernails are just about ready to go off my hand. I'm like, "Please, just get it out, babe. Come on." She said, "Boy, I grew up with nothing. But Mom and Dad told me, be thankful for the shoes I had, because someday I was going to meet the man with no feet. Boy, you better think about that." Psst, she let the air out. Thank God, thank God. She turned out the door, she went. That lady gave me something very special. She gave me some perspective. Life throws you curves, you gotta keep swinging. You gotta keep swinging. Because you can't hit a home run sitting on the bench. Or worse yet, sitting in stands.
Karen Kornacki, the Kansas City reporter who's done more than just cover the story. She says she got a ringside seat to all of Ed's highs and lows since the very first day he arrived as a ball player for the Kansas City Royals. And welcome Ed and Trish Hearn. Conquering Life's Curves is the title of their book. There's a lesson in there for everybody, right, Ed, you say?
You betcha. Boy, you know, as a young boy, I had dreamed of being a big league ball player. That's all I wanted to do. And then things changed. You know, of course, as I travel around the country speaking today, I find that we all face changes in life. We face challenges, and fortunately, the things that happened in my life, I now am able to go out there and empower other people, share with them a message of hope and that we can overcome these challenges.
It had been 8.5 years since we graduated from high school. These guys still didn't understand there's a price to pay for success. And as I watch these guys, they bounce from job to job, marriage to marriage, I learned that although there's a price to pay for success, there's a much, much greater price to pay for failing to do the things that are necessary to be a success. And there's a poem that ends with these words: "Often the struggler has given up what he might have captured the victor's cup, but he learned too late when the night came down how close he was to that golden crown." How close might you be? You got to step into the batter's box of life, and you got to swing and swing and swing. You want to be a leader here, you want to be a leader at home, you want to be a leader in the community, you have to earn it. You have to act like a leader, become a leader, gain trust, and then you can truly make a real difference in people's lives. That's when it becomes really fun. Management's not just about it's not about telling people where to go, how to do it, do this, that's wrong, this wrong, come on, get the job done, you're late, come on. It's about inspiring people to be the best that they can be. That's what it's about, but you have to earn that. You have to earn the opportunity to be in that role. You got to do your job, and then 3 little words. And then some. Average Joes aren't going to cut it. We need people, we need leaders to step up the plate and be leaders and be mentors. You can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I had a challenge for you tonight, it'd be this. Be thankful for the shoes you got. Lace them up, shine them up, and run with all your might to be the champions of life that I know God's intended for each and every one of us to be. In the words of Albert Schweitzer, I don't know what your destiny will be, but the one thing that I do know is those of us who serve others, those are the ones of us who are going to be truly happy. Thanks for having us here. Thanks for letting us serve you. Love you guys.
At an early stage in life, Ed Hearn has lived that which most other speakers can only talk about. He draws from these experiences insights which captivate and inspire his audiences. A dynamic storyteller and a powerful motivator, Ed blends reason with passion and adds a healthy dose of humor. As a keynote speaker, Ed has entertained and motivated a variety of audiences from some of the largest corporations in America. He has challenged them with concepts and ideas that, when put into action, have propelled individuals to new levels of success, both personally and professionally. But Ed doesn't stop there. He's accommodating and easy to work with, always willing to go the extra mile. He loves being personally involved with people, whether it's signing autographs, talking baseball, playing golf with your group, or even letting folks try on his World Series ring. His warm and personable style will leave each person he comes in contact with feeling special. Ed Hearn is truly an inspirational champion.